we go. Back again. Day 312. Dom, how we feeling?
Feel good. Let's get down to it. It's Monday, March, let's say 9th.
Yep.
It is the first day of free agency.
Legal
Officially.
tampering.
Legal tampering here. And lots happened. I'm getting over an illness, as you can hear in my voice. But we'll work through that throughout this video.
Yeah? You sure about that?
We're gonna try to.
We are powering through.
But
Yeah, I mean,
that's what we have to do. But a lot of interesting moves happen that we're gonna get to. But
yeah,
like a
no, if
lot
it
of
makes you
things
feel
so
any better,
far.
I am mildly sunburnt, actually. It's
I did
first
notice
nice
the
day of the year.
back of
Yeah.
your neck.
Oh, back of my neck is toasted right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that one's rough. But, hey, this is first day out of the year. This happens. Turns brown after a day or two. We don't peel.
That's what I would say.
We don't. Hey, listen, we don't peel.
Get the
Yeah.
base. You got to get the burn base.
Exactly.
Tan out after.
I will deal with the melanoma later. But as of now, it is red and then turns brown. I mean, it's really noticeable on my chest now that I'm looking at it with this shirt on. It's like, I don't know why this is my body is redder than my shirt. But hey,
Yeah.
again, it was a good day. All right, let's get into this. So we had the first big news break on Friday.
Friday. It was
Friday
Friday
night.
because I was at a birthday party for my
I was at
girlfriend's cousins.
I was at work.
And I just happened to check my phone, saw the news come in, and I said, "Oh shit."
Yes.
Sent it to you and waited about 45 minutes for you to get back to me with your response.
Yeah, I was busy at work. I finally got a chance to open up my phone and I saw a text message from you, which little insight, we only communicate through Twitter. And I saw a text message from Dom and I went, "Oh, something is important." And it just read, what was it? Hold on, I gotta find this.
Did I say you got your wish?
Dog, your dream has come true.
I was a little tipsy at the time.
I mean, honestly, with something like that, appropriate text message to receive. And I immediately went, "Oh." And then went to Twitter and you had sent me the tweet. Ravens acquired Max Crosby for this year's first, next year's first, and
that's it.
Was that it? I thought there might have been something else involved in that.
No,
I just had to double check myself.
Pretty clean trade.
Yeah.
I want to get your thoughts and opinions before I share.
Yeah, I mean, finally is what I will say. I mean, this is like simply, this is the best pass rusher the Ravens have had since Suggs. For sure.
Not even close.
Like, yeah, not even close. This is he's a real game changer. It's a top 5 guy in the league. I mean, I have said, like, I don't put him quite in the class with Myles Garrett or Micah Parsons, but like the dude is special. And Warren Sharp, shout out to him because he's the biggest football nerd that I think any of us are aware of. Putting out some more data on that. He's played with a lead in the second half of games, like I think it was like 28-30% of the time. Meaning this dude is getting 15 sacks a year and getting minimal pass rush attempts.
Yeah.
Because the team has been so bad. People are just running the ball, and he's still doing damage.
Well, I mean, he's only had 2 seasons of double-digit sacks.
Yeah, but even still, in that time, it's like over the last two
Yeah.
years, like it's guys with 15 or I forget what it was exactly. I didn't bookmark it, so I'm not even going to try to pull it up. But it was like the criteria. There's only a few dudes with like 15 plus sacks, however many tackles for loss, and QB hits. It was like 70 QB hits, 15 plus sacks, and like 20 tackles for loss. And it was like him, Miles Garrett, and Micah Parsons, I think, or something like that. There's only like three or four of them. And by far, Max Crosby has been in games where he's played with a lead the least amount of time, especially
Yeah.
in the second half of games. So
Yes.
it's that's a game changer in and of itself. Um, and then we can go through the deeper cuts of this where it does feel like Harbaugh walks out of the door and all of a sudden we're good with trading draft picks again.
Yeah.
Like, we're cool with that. Because, again, whoever they were going to draft at 14 is not Max Crosby. You're
No.
all like, nobody was going to touch that. And yes, is he carrying a $28 million cap hit, $30 million cap hit? Yeah, I don't care. I mean, you're in win now. And it, it just made way too much sense to do it.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with that aspect. Um, I do believe though the Raiders did win this trade. I think this benefits them much more than it benefits Baltimore in the long run of.
I'll say this: if the Ravens win a chip in the next or
If the
before,
Ravens win a chip,
if the Ravens
it
win a
has to be in
chip
the next
before,
2 years.
I was gonna say
Has to be in the next 2 years.
in the next two, it's an even trade. Everybody gets what they want out of it.
Yes,
It is Jared
100%.
Goff, Matt Stafford. Everybody
Yes, it
wins.
is a win-win.
Yes. Now, if they spiral out of control somehow, then yes, the Raiders 100% win that deal. But it does like everybody's getting what they want and need
Yeah,
out of
the
this
only
deal right
reason
now.
I'm saying that is Micah Parsons didn't even get two first round picks, and he is like two first round pick worthy
Mhm.
player. I'm not saying Crosby isn't, but
I
Crosby
think
doesn't
I
have
think the
that same
deal was different
pedigree.
too. It was like
There's a first and a
it
second
was
and some bullshit. That's what it
and
was.
well, Kenny Clark in there too, and players like
That's
this
why I
is
said
two
bullshit. Well,
first.
Kenny Clark was a salary dump,
Yeah,
and there might have been a fifth rounder in there as well. Again, it's a first and a second bullshit. Everything. It's like making a trade in fantasy.
hmm.
There's the main meat and potatoes and the bullshit on the side that gets it done for the people that think it's necessary. But it's
Right.
not.
But in theory, it's the 14 this year, and then next year you're
And
assuming health and everything like that. Like obviously the Ravens bottom
yeah,
out this year, and they're drafting 14. One field goal, they go from drafting 14 to drafting where are the Steelers at right now?
20th, 21.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, 21.
Which
It's going to be a
if you were
late
drafting
first, essentially a second anyway.
next year, yeah. This year
That's
though
what I'm
it's
saying.
not,
This year,
unfortunately.
no, it's correct.
If you were
Yeah.
drafting 21 this year and made that trade, I'd feel a little bit better. If you're drafting 14 in a shallow class, you're getting the top end of the talent of this class.
Mm.
Now you don't have that, which is fine.
Mm.
You're getting a guy who's known, already doing it at a level
Yeah, you're getting a known
they can
quantity out of
trust.
it.
Correct. I think it benefits the Raiders, and they have a different way that they can move.
Mm.
And I think that benefits Kubiak very much, in that he basically
Yeah,
has a clean
100%.
slate for this team. He doesn't have somebody he's tied to or forced to be tied to
Mm.
at all. Crosby was it. So now you have Mendoza at one and
You
Hunt.
could go Folk at 14 if Lemon is available. of
It's
14.
I
Like,
think it's truly best wide receiver available.
yeah, you
If
can do
Lemon
you can
makes
do
it,
so much. Like again, yeah, that's kind of the whole thing there
I
too.
think I think Jordan Tyson would be great on that team. Big body receiver on the outside. Just I think something like that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
And then you get another pick to work with in what's supposed to be a very deep class. Now we hear that every year. Next year's the class. Next year's the class.
Hmm.
Maybe next year is the class in which they already have their franchise quarterback in a class full of quarterbacks. So then they get the players that fall. So like that's going to benefit them heavily.
Mm.
I like this deal a lot for the Raiders. I like the deal obviously for the Ravens in the short term, more difficult in the long term, but
Right. Yeah. No.
in that short term period.
Yeah. Again, like if Lamar is 24 years old, that's a little bit hairier of a deal to go after. But I mean, he's 28. He's a mobile quarterback. Dealt with some injuries this year. He didn't look the same. Like, yeah, no, you got to put all your chips in now. I will say the only thing that I don't love about this right now is the fact that they haven't officially restructured and given the extension yet. Stocks that they're right there, and it's going to open up cap space. I do think that's hindered them a little bit today. That I don't love, but as of right now, like specifically the Max Crosby trade, I'm looking at it going, yeah, everybody wins in this. The Raiders are getting everything that they need. Not everything, but you know what I mean. Like they're getting a lot of what they need to try to kickstart their rebuild this year and next year, getting what would be projected to be a late first round pick. You're getting basically a very good second round pick out of this, essentially. Like, it's a good deal for both parties. And my question to you, just because you're saying that the Raiders won this trade
I just
on paper, no,
is what
I
I'm
know,
saying.
I know, I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm not, I'm just saying, like, okay, let's go back to week 18. Loop makes that kick. You guys are sitting in this position, and you offer up 2 firsts for Crosby.
Well, thank God we'll never do that.
You would
The
never do that
Steelers
because
would
you have
never do
TJ
it, but he
Watt,
makes
but
sense.
you get the
Yeah.
sentiment.
But I'd be hesitant in my team. I'm gonna be honest. Um, because you're
Damn, you love your
strapping.
draft picks.
I don't love. I'm not somebody that loves draft picks. I love winning a trade and making the trade make sense. Um, you have to be very confident in the team you already have,
Mm,
in the players you have on your team, in your off-season plan moving forward
mm.
to do something like this. And then not come out swinging on day one of free agency.
That again,
That
that
is
is
where
that is a separate thing that makes me a little bit more concerned about
like
things. Mildly more concerned.
just thinking about it all. On paper, Baltimore did everything right this offseason. Brought in the right head coach, brought in a good staff,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't bring in any free agents outside of John Simpson. It is slightly concerning as to
That's the EDC special, is that he never does that in free agency.
yeah.
He
So
never
like
does. He let Mosley walk. Very similar situation to what just happened with Linderbaum, which we'll get into. Um, like he's never been that guy,
yeah,
for better or worse. But I don't know. I just keep looking at this team and just going, man, if they could have just had a game wrecker up front, because they just didn't have
sure,
that. You were
sure.
asking Kyle Hamilton to do too many things. If you brought him up, it was a liability on the back end. If you left him back, it was liability up front. I mean, there were times where fourth and long, like, or not fourth and long, but like third and fourth down, you can't get any pressure at all. Like third and
Yeah,
six was
yeah,
an easy get against this team last year because nobody was making it difficult for a quarterback. Even on just not even quick throws, just intermediate stuff where you have 3 to 4 seconds to make something develop, let something develop. I mean, nobody was making you think. You have that now.
yeah. I mean,
And rumors on Matabike not being a career ender. He allegedly might be should be back next year. I mean, that's a completely different look on this team
correct.
just from that
So,
standpoint.
so again, we'll kind of see what they do going forward because you still need another wide receiver, and you still need help on the outside on defense desperately, even more so this year than last year. So we'll kind of see what they do to address both those, and you
Mhm.
definitely need depth at tight end now.
Yes, that is the other thing
So
for sure.
we'll kind of see what they do going forward. But obviously, you like adding that star pass rusher. You
Yes.
can't not like it. It's just like I said, making that move. You have to be confident in everything else, and I'm not necessarily the most confident in everything else.
No, I totally get that. Like, especially with as much as I like the Declan Doyle hire, he's never actually called plays.
Yeah,
He is young, and again, there's a lot to like about the build of this coaching staff, more so on the defensive end. But you would think that because of you have a lot more faith in the defensive end and you just got the pass rusher, you might be a little bit more aggressive
mm,
on day one here to kind of plug some holes or retain a couple guys.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean the Declan Doyle thing, it's just such a wild card right now.
yeah.
And
So
I'm really hoping that DaCosta and Bishotti aren't loving everything he's saying too much. You know what I mean? And are just because he's a part of the Ben Johnson tree that does well with offensive line and everything like that. Ben Johnson is also understanding the value in spending on the offensive line. I'm hoping either with the draft or just the next couple days here, there is something that kind of happens here.
yeah, you just gotta kind of wait and see at this point and see what transpires further.
Yeah.
But moving into now the real meat and potatoes of the day,
Yes.
and kind of what we've been waiting on
Such a fun
is
day.
that what free agency has brought us.
Mm.
Trades galore have occurred, almost one a day leading up to
Mm-hmm.
today, essentially. Right before everything kicked off, Rashawn Gary gets shipped to Dallas for a late round pick,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of just set everything off. Um, yeah, do you want to get into this team by team, or do you just kind of want to go through the bigger
Um,
components here?
I mean, who's like? Let's do it this way. Your biggest winner.
Biggest winner of the day is by far the Raiders. That there's not one thing they haven't done that I don't love.
Yes.
I mean, big winner, truly the big winner of the day is guards
Yeah.
and interior offensive linemen.
For real.
Because Linderbaum reset the market,
Mm-hmm.
massive deal, $27 million a year, which
Mm-hmm.
is nuts to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a
So
big one. Yeah.
if you young,
That's. I mean, just on paper here, Raiders Day one winner for sure.
Yeah, I mean they rewrote their defense a little bit there. In
Mm.
like a 10-minute period, they brought in Nakobe Dean and who's
Quay
the
Walker,
Quay
Quiddy
Walker.
Pay,
Quiddy Pay was earlier in the day, but it was back to
Taron
back with
Johnson, Eric Stokes.
yeah. Um, and they signed Jalen Naylor as well, which I definitely don't hate.
Mm.
At worst, he's your third receiver. At best, he could if he plays up, he's your number two. So it's a lot of good things. You're setting up well for Mendoza when he walks in that door. So
Yeah.
hard for me not to like what they're putting on paper there right now.
Hmm. Yeah, that was a very impressive day, for sure. Um, Hold on, who else did I kind of like what they did?
Oh, we like the Giants a little bit
I
here.
did like the Giants a lot, actually.
My favorite signing, or in their case, re-signing, is Jermaine Illuminor. Uh,
Hmm.
Massive get for them and at a great price. So
Yeah, and then
he's been
adding
very
in,
solid there.
yeah, and then adding in Tremaine Edmonds, Isaiah Likely was obviously. I was very surprised he went there instead of Kansas City offering up big money for him. That one really caught me off guard, honestly.
I
Um,
didn't even hear Kansas City offered him anything.
I and that really surprises me. I feel like that. I predicted that one too. That just felt like such a good fit. Like that one just kind of felt perfect. Um, I They brought in Jordan Stout as well, just to kind of shore up the
Correct.
special
The
teams
punt.
there,
Yeah.
punting situation there, which not the worst thing in the world to do either. I like theirs was a little bit quieter, but I did like that. And then who was I thinking of here? Uh,
You said you like
oh,
Tennessee as well.
I don't hate what Tennessee did. I really don't. Let me pull it back
It's
up
been
here.
okay.
Yeah, it's a very like you said it. It's kind of an odd one, but
It's a lot of move.
it's a lot of things happening, and I mean they had so many holes that getting more budget guys.
Hmm.
Now, granted, none of these are small deals, but still, like comparatively, none of their deals were like some astronomical number. The biggest
Yeah.
one being Wandale Robinson, 4 years,
Yeah.
78, but only 38 of that is guaranteed, so they can move off
And
of
it's
that
only
quickly.
yeah, it's still under 20. Their largest annual deal they gave is John Franklin Myers for 21 a year.
Yeah, and
So and
Alante
only the
Taylor
first
was
2 years
is
guaranteed.
20 a year, but even with those two, they're both 42 guaranteed, so basically two and change are guaranteed on that one. So those are easily, if they don't work out, you can get out of those very quickly.
Yeah.
And then Cordell Flott, 3 years, 45, 32 guaranteed. Again, you can move off of that very quickly. They, I feel like they did a lot without doing anything overly splashy and also giving themselves a lot of flexibility. Like these are all
That's fair.
deals that they can get out of very quickly. And if
Fair.
it doesn't go right with Cam Ward, it all lines up to a full teardown again. And you get off a lot of these contracts.
Yeah. I do think it is kind of setting themselves up to draft Jeremiah Love at 4.
Yeah.
I just see that that's the route they're kind of going with this. They already brought in an edge with Jermaine
Edge
Johnson.
to three corners, actually.
So they're just kind of shoring everything up for themselves in a way that they're not forced to go into a needs direction. But if Love's on the board and that's truly their best bet, which at this point it's gonna be,
It's
Because
either going to be
Arizona's not.
Love or they could take a
Well,
flyer on one of the tackles.
yeah, Love's not. Uh, Arizona's not going to draft Love at this point because they brought in uh, Tyler Algier,
Mm-hmm.
and they still have two other running backs on their team in James Conner and Trey Benson. So it doesn't make sense there. So Titans are the first team up to really get a good look at Love if they want to draft him. And I don't think he's getting past there at this point.
Yeah. No, I would say I am. It's 80-20.
Mm-hmm.
Either Jeremiah Love or, like I said, like Maui Goa or something like that there to just shore up that O line.
Fair, yeah.
But Jeremiah Love does make a lot of sense because of what he can do, and Robert Saleh, his background with the Niners there, seeing what Christian McCaffrey can do for your team.
Yeah.
I have kind of liked what the Texans have been doing over the last week or so, and then today. Got a couple extensions, Reed Blankenship, and then again the trade for David Montgomery. Like a few things that I've liked there. And then the weird one, just solo signing. Malik Willis going to Miami feels odd.
So Miami made two moves this morning early. One was to ship um,
Oh yeah,
over
mate,
to the
to
Jets.
the Jets.
That cleared about 17 million, and then cut to which didn't save them anything. It was just to cut them for the sake of it.
Yeah.
And they knew the second I saw both those moves, I said they're immediately going to go after Malik, and that's going to be their goal here to get him. Um, and that's probably all they really can do at this point.
Yeah, it just felt like a weird landing spot for Willis more than anything.
It just kind of what it was at that point.
Yeah,
I
again,
mean, it's not that weird. He's following Halfley down to Miami
that's
and
fair.
kind of trust that. From there, I don't know. It's good for him. He had a 3 year deal, which is more than I expected him to get.
I
And
thought it
right,
was going to be about that.
I
Honestly,
thought it was
I
going to
mean,
be a two. I would have given him a two, not a three. But
so
still,
it's essentially a 2 year deal.
mm,
It's 3 years, 67 and a half, 45 guaranteed.
okay,
So again, essentially a 2 year deal that they can move on from.
fair
Um,
enough.
Also, just kind of looking at this, scrolling through again, another weird one. Denver
I have a weird one. So go ahead.
only resigns.
There's a couple teams, but I did look at that earlier. So Denver's just kind of bringing back the guys they like.
Yeah,
I
but
think
like
they're
that's
in
kind of the
from
thing is like you don't want to just run it back, even if you win it. Like you don't want to just run it
sure,
back.
sure.
So
From my
it
understanding,
feels
they were in on the two big running backs, and when they didn't get them, they
yeah.
pivoted to JK. They gave him very good deal though, better than I expected.
Yeah, 2 year
I think it was
20,
220
8 million
million.
guaranteed.
So good for him. Crazy to me, but good for him.
Yeah, again, I
Speaking
mean,
of, go ahead.
again, like looking at the guaranteed money on that makes sense.
Yeah,
1 year you get out of it.
sure.
Or you
Um,
extend him from there and you do it for a little less and you rework.
Speaking of good for him, before I pivot into my next point after that, Alec Pierce, one of the first names to get called. 4 years, 116 million, back to the Colts. It
Yeah.
was rumored the Patriots were heavily, heavily involved and tried to sway him away, but inevitably he went back
Way more than I
and
thought he was going to get.
way more, almost 30 a year, 29 a year. That's what it ended up being. They probably had to bump it up just to make sure he stayed.
Yeah.
And the second I saw that happen, I said, "Oh, they're gonna cut Michael Pittman. They have to." And in about 20 minutes after this, Michael Pittman gets traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And just to kind of talk about the Steelers here, I think they had a good day. I hate to say it, and I don't hate to say it, but
Mm-hmm.
they they had a good day. They got Michael Pittman, good, solid number two, and they reworked his deal. Gave him a new one for averages out to like 19 a year, and then signed Jamel Dean on a cheap deal compared to other corners I saw,
Yeah.
who last year had a very solid season. So getting him at 3 years, 36 million shocks me. Re-signed Asante Samuel Jr. to a 1 year prove it deal. Re-signed a couple other guys, but they also signed Rico Dowdle to a 2 year, $12.5 million deal, something like that. 12.25, I believe, is what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
So like, really solid day for Pittsburgh. Um, they still have some major question marks with quarterback and offensive line, but overall, I kind of like what they're doing in the path they're kind of pushing in. So we'll see what tomorrow holds.
Yeah. No, I don't hate it. He plugged some holes, areas of need, got a little bit more athletic on the defensive side of the ball. That was, I mean, well documented on my end. My gripe with the Steelers last year was, yeah, you're physical, but don't play anybody that's got any bit of speed. If
Yeah,
it's all coming up the middle, like you guys are great, that's a great matchup for you. But once you get out wide, like it's not the same team. So you get a little bit more athletic there. Don't hate those moves at all.
hmm
However, teams that we don't love,
I mean, I'll start with it. I hate what
I
the
was
Chiefs have
going there
done.
too. Yep.
Absolutely hate it.
I don't like this at
Absolutely
all.
hate it. I mean, you've you trade away your star corner
Mhm.
last week to the Rams, who also didn't even talk about the Rams. Solid day, solid offseason so far.
Yes.
You trade him away for a first and a fifth or something like that. Again, doesn't
It
matter.
was
Bullshit.
a one, a five, a six this year, and a third next year.
Okay, yeah, a lot of bullshit. Um, and then you lose Jalen Watson also to the Rams, who signed with them.
Mhm.
So you lose both of your starting cornerbacks basically. Your starting safety Brian Cook leaves, goes to the Bengals. 3 out of 5 starting secondary positions you lost. You don't focus on that. Instead, you bring in a D tackle with not a whole lot of
Uh,
starting history.
yeah,
Tonga, Kyrie
yeah.
Tonga. Big dude. He's solid, but that's your first signing. And then Travis Kelsey says he's coming back, so that kind of ties your hands together. You got to bring Kelsey back. You're not gonna not.
Right.
And then you focus on running back, and you sign Kenneth Walker to a massive deal for 15 a year.
Yeah, that's really what does it. If they had signed Etienne to that deal, I have really no issues with
Oh,
this Chiefs
I
offseason.
probably still have the same issues because
I wouldn't because
I don't think any running back in this free agent class should get 15 a year
I
because none of
mean,
them have been consistent enough to warrant that.
yeah, and I get that. I just think that it's also salary cap going up. Like it's just kind of the market to get
Yeah,
to buy
I
one
guess.
rather than draft one, and it's not a good class for backs outside of Love. Um, I'll defend the Chiefs on what they've been able to do with secondary pieces, like the ones that they draft. Uh, they all do well. Spags does a really good job with his secondary pieces when he gets them. L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie, Honey Badger, who's Jalen Watson.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, you can kind of go through the list. Like, they are a much more expendable part of that roster, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like, I I'll defend them on that. Is it great that they're losing their top two corners? No. Um, but again, like the Kenneth Walker thing just doesn't. That one just really doesn't land with me. Like again, if it was Etienne having that threat of catching the ball out of the backfield as well, that's a very different look for me. That makes a lot of everything else kind of more okay in my
yeah,
brain. Because again, like you're at this point now, after you traded Sneed and knowing that Love is not going to be available, obviously they're not believing that because they signed Kenneth Walker. You're going most likely corner at 9, and then edge rusher at what is it, 29,
28.
28,
Yeah.
28, 29, whatever it is. Like,
No, 29. Yeah, 29.
I knew it was one of those, but regardless, like that's probably your plan. And I just the Kenneth Walker thing just doesn't do enough for me. Like, is he very good? Yes. I don't think he totally solves what the Chiefs have needed over the last 18 months, which is free plays.
Well, not only that, he's not a third down back.
Yeah.
He, like you said, he doesn't catch passes, but not only does he not catch passes, he doesn't block. So, like, you still are lacking an additional running back that's going to do that because you don't have one on your team anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, unless you decide to bring 30-year-old Kareem Hunt back, but even then, he wasn't really catching passes.
He wasn't really
He,
doing much of anything for you. He was
yeah, he was just a body.
goal line and a bigger body
So, you're
in those
still
situations.
missing that factor. And I get it with ETN, he at least catches passes, but he still doesn't do the dirty work that you needed him to do.
No, but I just felt like ETN would have given you more. That felt like a better toy for Andy Reid to
Yeah,
play with to make
that's fair.
to get free 6 yards.
Yeah, I guess that
A
ideology
lot of
is
different
fair.
ways. Like
Yeah,
when Kenneth Walker's back there, it is you're either running the ball or you're not using him.
yeah. Speaking of the moving off of this, because I could go on for days about
Yeah,
how I'm
right.
just like this, but I don't understand the ETN to New Orleans like at all. Like I don't hate it. I just don't get it. It's just weird. Wasn't
I
in anticipation. Like
I
I get
wouldn't
the
have thought of
idea.
it.
Not at
Obviously,
all.
like when we talked about when we were doing our predictions for it, like I they definitely wouldn't have been at the top of my list of places that I thought he was going to go.
No.
However, when I did see it, I was like, Okay, I get it.
Sure.
Like
Yeah,
you,
sure. I mean,
you
he's from Louisiana. He wants to go back to his
not even
area. I
not even
get
just
that.
that. I mean, from a a team perspective. I mean,
Yeah.
Kamara was over the last 2 years has been minimal
I mean,
production.
he's 30 years old, battling
Exactly.
injuries. That I get. I just wasn't expecting that because they have recommitted to Kamara over and over again, and it's basically been like his timeline kind of a thing.
Well, yeah, and I think that's kind of also been because he's said like
Yeah.
he's not going anywhere else. He wants to
Yeah.
stay no matter what,
Exactly.
kind of thing. So like,
I
what else were they gonna do?
so
I
that kind of,
don't.
but it does force their hand into you have to make a decision with Kamara because Kamara and ETN are like the same player.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. But
They're
Kamara
not,
last
but
year, I mean, let me just for the sake of it,
okay.
just pulling up his numbers from this past year was not much of anything, if I'm not mistaken. 2025, 471 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, receiving. He had 186 receiving yards, so he was barely over 600 total yards
Hmm.
in 11 games. So not only is he increasingly missing more time, he's not as productive um, in terms of what his pulling up their cap table here. Is he on their roster this year? Is he a free agent right now?
Kamara, he's on their roster. He's not a free agent.
Oh yeah, there he is.
He's a decent contract too.
Yeah, he's getting 10 and a half.
Yeah, so it would bode them pretty well to get him off the book.
Yeah, I mean the dead cap money. I mean, yeah, they can. They might have to eat it this year.
Hmm.
I don't know. Even still, like it's 10 and a half cap hit, 19 in dead cap if they cut him. But after
Yeah,
this year,
can't.
it's all void years.
Well, as we talk shit on the Chiefs, they do make a secondary move here.
Oh, did they? What we got?
They signed former Raven Alohi Gilman to a
Good for them.
three-year, $24 million deal.
I came to like him.
Yeah, and now he's going to be your mortal enemy.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
So, fair enough.
We know how
Um,
this goes.
so somebody else, one last team that I just really don't fully grasp what they did is the Packers. A
Which
lot of
is
confusing
not much
things.
of anything.
Well, it's not necessarily what they brought in, it's what they got rid of for not a whole lot of necessary reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So they traded for Zaire Franklin because they were expected to lose Quay Walker. Okay, fair. You trade Rashawn Gary for a fourth, which I don't fully understand why you're moving off of Gary. He didn't have a terrible year. I don't know if you're trying to move him to get something, especially when Michael was healthy. He was having a pretty good, productive season. In the former half, I didn't really catch what he did in the latter half post Parsons, but having that
Oh.
second,
Rashawn Gary probably getting moved. He's got a $19.5 million cap hit this year. 22 and a half
that's
next year.
that's still not bad for an edge.
It's not
If
terrible.
you push him back out to an edge, even if you play him as a D tackle,
Yeah.
which or a D end, which is probably more so what you're going to utilize him at,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're running a 4-3, it's probably more ideal. Regardless of that, it doesn't really matter.
Probably
It
just did
just
it
doesn't make
because
a
what did I
whole lot
say?
of
It was
sense.
18 and a half.
19.
19 and a half. So that got him basically, 20? Got him to 31 million in cap
Sure,
space.
sure. But if you have plans to use it, but then after
Right.
that,
Not much of anything.
at like 3 o'clock today, they cut Elgin Jenkins, which is the most confusing move. Who was 2 years removed from Pro Bowl, All Pro honors.
Yeah, odd
So
little
like
stretch there.
that one's weird. Um, just kind of didn't do a whole lot that got the blood going. I was expecting them to be a little bit more active, especially considering what we were kind of hearing a few days ago that they were going to be active and that they were looking to make some moves, and they haven't really done anything. They haven't added to the defense, which had some issues last year. I don't know, and they've kind of created a couple more holes on that offense. So I'm curious to see what they do now if they have big plans. But as of right now, I'm definitely questioning what their future kind of looks like here in the next few days.
Yeah, theirs seems weird. I didn't
Yeah.
hate. Yeah, I'm just kind of going through this again too. Commanders is another team that I don't dislike. I don't love. Get Tunsil an extension. Allegretti gets a new deal.
Yeah.
You bring back a lot of the O line there.
Hmm.
Add a little bit on the defensive side. I don't know. Like as we're sitting here, again, I mean, day one free agency. It's not like the do or die.
No, it's not the end.
There's we got what 6 months until things matter again.
Yeah. All of this is
For sure.
hypothetical at the end of the day. But
Yeah, it's just some of these have been definitely strange.
yeah, I mean, I think, like we said, part of it is you have a weaker free agent class, you have a weaker draft class. You're going to see an uptick in trades, but you're also going to see maybe some higher end deals to ensure that you get the guys that you're sure about.
Yeah, I mean, weaker free agent class across the board, but like at certain spots, like obviously running back. I mean, should have been a lot better with Brees Hall being available, but whatever. Um, I mean, Etienne and Kenneth Walker. It's not Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley,
No.
but again, mildly confusing where they ended up
Hmm.
landing. I liked the tight ends in this class a lot more than probably other people did. But I mean,
Um,
with that being said,
yeah.
Njoku and Goddard are still out there.
So still are available. So we'll see how
Yeah,
that kind of plays out. I do want
yeah.
to circle back to get your opinion now with another wide receiver trade kind of on the books. If you still feel like DJ Moore warranted a second.
Compared to Pittman,
Yeah, I mean they're similar as yes, DJ Moore is better than Pittman, but is DJ
I
Moore that much better?
yes,
Interesting. Okay.
yes,
Okay.
I believe so. In my opinion, I do think there was a little bit of the you know DJ Moore probably had a little bit of an issue with Adunze becoming the number one with Caleb, and then Luther Burden kind of taking over that wide receiver two spot from him as well.
Hmm.
I think evident in the playoff game The overtime where he just kind of like the pick in overtime where it did look like he kind of just gave up on that route. And I defended him at the
Yeah.
time on here as well. Like, I don't think he ever thought that ball was coming to him. But
Yeah.
regardless, dude, like, you got to finish the route. Because even in that, when he started easing up on that route, the guy that's covering him could have closed in on, I think it was the Dunes coming up the seam there, too. Like, I did defend him a little bit on that it was just kind of one of those weird plays. But I do think he is the clear cut number one in Buffalo. And I mean, that's a second round pick worth it to me. I don't think that the Bills were getting anybody. It's similar to the Ravens thing with, drafting with the 14th overall pick. You're not
Yeah.
getting Max Crosby level production from whoever you get at 14. Uh,
True. I mean,
and the
again,
Bills
I'm
are
not.
not getting what they should honestly probably get out of DJ Moore with their second round pick, which they're drafting
Sure.
fucking 57th overall or whatever it
Sure.
is.
Yeah. If you're always going to put it in a vacuum like that, it's never going to be
Yeah.
equal value typically.
But I think it's fair to use that line of thinking when you have teams that are competing for championships. You know what I mean?
Sure. 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 Well, I think we're just going to agree to disagree
That's fair. I just think
on
that
this.
like if if the Raiders make that trade, if they're sending a second round pick for DJ Moore, no, I don't like that deal. There are too many holes that DJ Moore is not fixing. And you
Yeah.
need
I
those
mean,
picks because you
super,
need as
super fair.
much cost controlled um just yeah, as much of as much cost controlled parts of your roster as you can possibly get rather than and you can play the upside a little bit more there rather than the Bills taking a flyer on a second round pick receiver, or they can go and get DJ Moore, who is not a top 10 receiver in this league, but he's also, $26 million dollars and will be your number one, and you're filling a hole that you need. So, like, yeah, those kind of deals don't really bother me. And just for the sake of it, uh, just looking back on their deal with Stephon Diggs, they traded a first, a fifth, a sixth, and a fourth.
Yeah.
First, it was a 22 overall, and then a fifth, and a sixth in 2020, and then a 2021 fourth. And that worked for them for several years.
Sure. 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 I guess again, if you take it out of the microscope, typically it works better to look at it from that. But again, we were like we said, 6 months away. I'm only looking at it from the grand scheme of things and comparing it to other trades that have gone down. And what seemed to me more so a salary dump from the Bears,
Yeah,
which is
and
kind
a
of like,
necessary salary dump.
yeah, which in turn is why I think you overpaid. Yes, DJ Moore is worth a second round pick. I'm not disagreeing with that. But comparatively, I think you could have traded less and got the same return, is what I'm saying. And is what an overpay is.
I get what you're saying. I like I do understand what you're saying. I just also kind of look at it and just go, if you're in the win now mode, yeah,
Yeah, sure. I guess
you
if you don't want to,
make the deal happen.
yeah, I think a third rounder still gets it done, or a third and a sixth. I think that gets it done still. I don't think that's always where like my argument lies is
Yeah,
in the
I
underdog.
don't I don't know though. Like I think if they were the only ones talking to him, yeah,
Yeah, and we
I get
don't know
that.
if there was somebody else is the thing, I guess. But again,
But
we're
again, you and I both know that that was a salary dump. They were going to have to do that because he
exactly.
had become obsolete there. However, still very talented and very
Yeah,
like can be very productive. I'm sure the Bills weren't the only team.
assumedly so.
You know what I mean? I mean that's part of the reason that the Max Crosby betting, like what he went for.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, again, like the Bears were going to offer two firsts, but they took the Ravens deal because the Ravens were drafting at 14 this year rather than 22.
yeah,
Like that plays into it for sure. Like it's not just what their value might be. It's just like, okay, here's the baseline value because we've seen it before, but also depends on how many teams are calling and offering.
correct.
And we
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
like
yeah.
a lot of names or a lot of teams listed with Max Crosby. That's going to drive up the price. Like things like that happen. So I don't hate
Yeah,
it. I still don't hate it. And when DJ Moore goes for 1,400 this year and pisses me off all year, I'm not gonna
that
I'm gonna say
that's
like yeah,
for
that
sure.
second round pick was definitely worth it because we'll look at whoever the Bears
Correct.
drafted in the
Yeah,
second round and probably go, that's what they got for that. That's what they got in the deal.
yeah, yeah. It's I mean that's the name of the game.
That's all I
And
got.
like, yeah, yeah. That's day one.
Day one reactions, yelling at each other about draft pick values.
Yeah,
I am Stan Kroenke. You are Mike Brown.
I am what I am.
You are give me the cost controlled assets as much as possible. I don't want to spend any money.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
I
whoa,
say fuck them
whoa.
picks. Give me the guys.
That's not necessarily what I am. I very much fuck those picks, but it's when I trust what I'm buying.
In those two instances, I trust what I'm buying.
Sure, fair enough. We'll circle back. We'll circle.
Listen, you go and spend $20 at McDonald's. Is it the best food you've had in your life? No, but does it get the job done? Hell yeah.
Jokes on you. I don't go to McDonald's.
Oh, fucking health freak over here. Get out of here. All right, I'm over it. Let's get out of here. You get anything else, asshole?
No, no, that's it. We'll recap final days here in our next video and anything else that may jump up. And we're going to start a new series here about top 25 quarterbacks of all time. Every episode, we're going to do one quarterback, highlight them, talk about them, discuss them a little bit. And we'll do that week basis until we get to the season.
Yeah, that should get
So
us
it should be
right to the
interesting.
start of the year, too.
Yeah, so excited for that one.
Yeah. All right, anything else?
No, no, that's it. So let's head on out of here. Uh, thank you for listening today, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.